Liam Bateman is Managing Director of the Think Tank, which is a business-to-business marketing and PR agency. Liam, very good afternoon to you.
Afternoon again, Roberta. How are you?
I'm well, so welcome back to the show, Liam.
Thank you.
There's nothing left to accident in these speeches, very carefully worded and drafted by somebody, I wonder who. How do you read the tone of the PMs Address to the UK last night?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a change. I mean, over this whole period, there's been quite a paternalistic type of tone to his voice, trying to lead the country and to bring us all along with him. Last night was way more authoritarian. It was very much more telling us we need to be doing something. And I think that one of the problems that we've had over the past few months is this vagueness and flamboyancy sometimes in the way that the Prime Minister speaks, in the way that he talks, can get across a bit of confusion, can cause a bit of confusion with people when they're listening to him. And I think, as you said, those very, very carefully worded speeches that he comes out with are quite often lacking in a bit of detail. And what that means is, to a certain extent, there's a bit of dumbing down in some of that conversation. Yesterday's, it was very much stronger and very much more forceful. There was a different tone to his voice, which sounded almost sort of getting a little bit panicky in the voice there, a little bit in terms of, we're getting back into this where we were before. But the problem was that still there was a vagueness in some of the things he's saying. And even to the extent of this morning, Dominic Raab, the Foreign Secretary, on Radio 4, having a conversation with the presenters there about what do these new rules around table service mean for companies such as McDonalds and Pret a Manger and people like that are serving at counters, people picking up food and going to a table. And in reality, the actual clarification on it is that it's only for licensed premises. Now, that means that when people hear that, the automatic thing they think is, oh, I can't go to McDonald's anymore, or I can't go here, I can't go there, because I have to sit at a table, I can't go and collect food. So that type of lack of detail sometimes in the flamboyancy and sort of the way that, the charismatic way that the Prime Minister talks, can add to additional confusion. I think that's something that's been happening recently.
I think the latest advice is that McDonald's is exempt from this table service malarkey.
Exactly, absolutely, because they're not a licensed premises.
No, it's not.
You can go in there, but that wasn't any detail about that last night. So it only needed 2 words in that speech to completely clarify that, but it didn't happen. And that's sometimes the problem. And this is where we've gotten to now. We're getting to this point where this authoritarian communication last night, going back to the added confusion it's had over a period of time to tell people to stop doing things that they've been doing. You've got to think about it. What were we told to do in August? Eat out to help out. We were told to get out there, start getting the economy going, go out and eat and everything else. There's only so far that people can take that in terms of how they react in themselves.
Well, if you keep changing the message, people will simply stop listening. The whole point of advertising, any kind of PR, is it's one simple message ingrained. It's over. You think of Audi, Technik, right? That has stuck. Yeah. People know what that means. That is the brand. If the government keeps changing its message every few weeks, then people just will not remember. They just won't.
Yeah. And this is a fast-moving thing, of course. It's a pandemic that nobody's ever been in before, and it's changing all the time. However, this continual changing in not just the message, but the tone of voice as well, ramping up now to that sort of the
But Liam, the flip side of the coin is no Prime Minister, especially not this one, no Prime Minister wants to have to address this issue. I mean, no one wants this on their plate. However, if you are the Prime Minister, if you're in charge of any organisation, sometimes things fall on your shoulder and you have to deal with them.
Absolutely. And I think that sometimes the tone and the way that the Prime Minister communicates isn't always the best way to be dealing with these sorts of things and the way to talk about them. For people to have confidence in what's coming across, the continual change in the message alongside the flamboyant nature of the Prime Minister's way that he talks to people, and that confusion that sometimes comes from after those communications, just people start to lose confidence. They start to stop listening.
Liam, thank you. Liam Bateman, Managing Director of the think tank, a business-to-business marketing and PR agency.